When your hope collapses, when the voice of doubt is louder than your courage, when you feel the world ignores your existence, remember this: broken doesn't mean destroyed. Cracked doesn't mean forever fragile. Darkness isn't the end of light. It's just a moment before dawn. A true warrior is not forged by easy victories. He's molded through wounds and collapse. And you, yes you, crawling through the darkness, doubting your own steps. You are an unfinished story. Every tear, every pain is ink writing the legend of your courage. If the world forces you to your knees, then stand even taller. Rise not because you've never fallen, but because you choose not to stay in ruin. Rise because your wounds are proof that you tried. Rise because despair doesn't deserve to defeat a warrior like you. When you feel broken, that's when you're being shaped into something extraordinary. Be the flame in the middle of ashes. Be the proof that destruction can give birth to a rising. And one day, when others feel broken, they will look for light and they will find you, because you didn't just survive. You inspired, you led, you are the answer. Have you ever felt the world collapsing? The dream you once held, now scattered, but belief you come to slowly fading. Right in the middle of that destruction, life, not fearing, teaches you the true meaning of courage. Courage is not walking a smooth road. Courage is when you keep moving forward, even if you're stumbling, even if you're bleeding, and you still say, I'm not done, I'm still fighting. When hope feels gone, when the world feels dark, that's where the greatest lesson begins. Destruction is not the end. Destruction is the invisible teacher. It teaches that strength isn't about muscle, but about will that can't be broken. That tears aren't weakness, but proof your heart is still alive. That giving up is not an option, because behind it, every crack, there's a light trying to break through. I may be fragile, but I'm not extinguished. When everything seems lost, don't just look at what's broken, look at what's being rebuilt. Because only when we break can we see who we really are. No masks, no roles, just a truthful soul, even if it's wounded. Courage is not the final result. Courage is the decision you make when the world whispers just quit. And if today you feel broken, I'm not here with instant solutions, but I'm here with one message. You're still here, and that is strength. That is courage. Have you ever fallen? Not because you're weak, but because the road was full of thorns and unexpected turns? Falling is not shameful. Falling is proof that you're walking, that you dare to step forward, dare to try, dare to live. But sometimes we misunderstand. We think falling means failure. We think if we stumble, then we've lost our way. But that's not true, not at all. Because a true adventurer knows the best maps aren't always straight. Sometimes you have to fall first to find the right direction. Stars can't be seen in daylight. You have to be in darkness to see that light. So if you fail today, don't be quick to curse your steps, because maybe right from your lowest point, you'll see that sky that's been blocked all this time. Falling is not the end. Falling is a reminder that you're still alive, and every life has the right to rise again. Rise even if slow. Rise even if unsure, because your destiny isn't lost, just briefly covered by the dust of struggle. You're not done. Your journey is not over, and the world is still waiting for you to shine. Maybe you feel you haven't succeeded yet, haven't become what you dreamed of, haven't met the world's expectations. But pause for a moment. Look at yourself today. You're still here, and that is victory. You made it through nights full of tears. You held on even with invisible weight on your shoulders. You chose to rise even when the world kept pressing you down. And that's not a small thing. That is extraordinary courage. That is a victory that's often overlooked but holds the deepest meaning. Not every victory is celebrated with cheers. Some are just a quiet breath in the middle of a storm. When life feels too heavy, when your steps feel slow, when everyone else seems miles ahead, remember, you're still here. You haven't given up. You haven't stopped. And that's enough. That's already great. Today you stand, not because you never fell, but because you keep choosing to rise. Every second you endure, every breath you take is proof that your fire is still burning. So, if you feel you haven't made it yet, be grateful, because you have survived. And in a world full of pressure, surviving itself is a victory. I once broke apart, not in one big explosion, no, but in tiny fragments no one could see. Crack after crack. disappointment, exhaustion, despair. But even though I broke, I did not burn out, because inside me, there's still a small flame, a flame of hope, a flame of determination, a flame of courage. I don't need to be whole to keep shining. I don't need to be perfect to keep standing. Every scar I carry is not a shame, but a nettle of struggle. Every tear I shed is not weakness, but proof that I'm still alive, still fighting, still standing. Like a melting candle, I give light even as I burn. It's not the destruction that defines who I am, but how I choose to rise from it. They look at me and think I'm fragile, but I'm proof that strength can be soft, can be silent, can be simple, still glowing in the darkest night. And if you, the one hearing this, feel broken, don't rush to shut yourself down, because maybe your greatest light is coming from that very crack. Uncertainty, the thing we all fear, because who doesn't want to know which path is right? Who doesn't want to guarantee for the future? But listen close. Uncertainty is not the enemy. It's the training ground for courage. When direction is blurry, when dreams feel faint, when plans fail again and again, that's exactly where true strength is born. Not from comfort zones, not from certainty, but from your courage to step forward without clear answers. A warrior doesn't wait for an easy road. He builds a new one from the rubble. When you don't know which path to take and you still move forward, that is strength. That is courage. That is you, the toughest version of yourself. Uncertainty is a portal to transformation. It forces you to dig deep, to find the fire hiding behind doubt. So if you're feeling lost, if your life path feels unclear, don't be afraid, because you're standing in the birthplace of a power that can't be bought, a power carved only by time, trials, and courage. Remember this, you don't need certainty to be extraordinary. What you need is the faith to keep moving, even when the world hasn't given you the answer. When the world goes silent, your voice becomes an echo. In a world that's getting busier, ironically, more people choose to stay silent. Silent out of fear of being different. Silent out of fear of being wrong. Silent because they feel their voice doesn't matter enough. But in the middle of that silence, you speak. And when you speak, your voice becomes an echo of courage, an echo of truth, an echo that shakes the stillness and ignites the fire in others. Even a whisper sounds loud when the world chooses silence. Never underestimate your voice, because one honest sentence can break down walls of indifference. One shout of courage can awaken souls that have been asleep. When the world stays silent out of fear, you speak out of love. Where others bow their heads, you stand tall carrying hope. And from that voice comes an echo that vibrates in the hearts of those who need light, that inspires them to speak, to act, to rise.